Hi, this is John from Board and Sated.
And I'm Mike from Board and Seated.
Today, we're going to be talking about modern time bingeable fantasy. So it has to be on one of the major streaming services and as part of a subscription.
Yeah.
So let's get started.
All right, let me start. I'll go first. My number five is True Blood. I watched every episode of this, even the bad ones. Uh, it was on HBO for quite a long time. It's just before another show that I can't really name, but became the obsession of the world. It's currently streaming on Hulu and Amazon Prime. What about you, John?
Very, very good. And I did buy True Blood, but haven't watched it yet. So it's sticking in my iTunes library, ready to stream. But I'll get to it eventually.
Right.
For mine, it's going to be Heroes, an NBC show that spanned a few seasons. It was very good. They then tried to remake it with Heroes Reborn, which really wasn't that good. So we're talking only the originals, and it streams on Amazon's IMDb TV, which is a advertisement-based free streaming service. So you can catch it anytime. It's a very good series. It's superheroes where people are just getting their powers and trying to figure out how things work. Bad guys, good guys, but they're all like just normal people.
Oh.
And,
save the cheerleader, save the world. Yes, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll go with number four. This is a more recent fantasy series, Ash versus the Evil Dead. It's based on a series of horror movies from the 80s, starring Bruce Campbell, as only Bruce Campbell can be. It's currently on Netflix, Stars, and Hulu, and it's gory, but it's a funny type of gory, if that makes any sense. It's almost a comedy horror, which normally you really can't do very well, but they managed to do it exceptionally well. And it's, I think, directed by Sam Raimi. And he's the guy who did the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. What about yours?
Mine is From Dusk Till Dawn, the Netflix series. It goes 3 seasons, and I'm still watching in there, but it's very good, much better than the movies. I think they made three movies. I mean, the first one was the good one.
First one was pretty good.
Where everybody was always saying, hey, the first half of the movie was great, and the second half was just a mess. But, that's From Dusk Till Dawn. But this takes the same characters, the different actors, but it really, really expands on that entire world. At the bar and everything. So it's a pretty good vampire type of series.
Okay. So for my number 3, I went with Highlander, the TV series. Let's see, that was based on the movie in the 1980s.
Yes.
And it ran, I think, for 7 seasons. And it was really good. I mean, the first couple of seasons were exceptionally good, and then it sort of tapered off a bit, as TV series do. But it's good fun. Most of them are one and done episodes, although there's some continuity from episode to episode.
Yeah, it's a very, very good series, and some of them, they started putting in like multi-thousand-year-old immortals in there, so it became pretty good. But it kind of was, hey, why is the 400-year-old immortal beating the 2,000-year-old immortal?
That's because the guy who played Highlander, he's there every week. So he's constantly training.
That's why.
The guest actor has like maybe a week to practice his swordplay. That's how I figured it out. And that you can find on Tubi, Vudu, and Amazon Prime.
Yes, Amazon Prime, it is streaming on there. Yeah. My number 3 is Lucifer. Originally a Fox TV series and now on Netflix with additional seasons still being made. That is an excellent series about the comic book Lucifer, the devil himself, gone to L.A.
Yeah.
But we all think that the devil is already in L.A.
Los Angeles. Yeah.
Los Angeles. But it's an excellent series with some pretty cool things you don't usually see on TV.
Yeah. Well, certainly now when it's on Netflix, they don't have a rating.
No ratings. Yep, that's correct. and technically it's connected to the Arrowverse over on the CW by different dimensions.
They did do
A cameo.
a crossover of sorts there.
Yeah, a cameo for Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yes.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah. All right. So my number 2 is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Went 7 seasons. Basically, it was the flagship show of the WB at the time, which is now the CW.
Mm-hmm.
Gave rise to Angel series as well, and that can be found on Hulu.
Did that start on the UPN network and then merged?
No. No, it was always on the WB.
Okay, yeah. Because the WB and the UPN network merged and became a CW. So a lot of their shows went over, and it's usually confusing which one started where, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're talking Star Trek, which it's on the Paramount network, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, it was a good series. I would have definitely put it at like number 6. That and Angel was very, very good. I used to watch it all the time. It's awesome stuff. So my number 2 is The Boys on Amazon Prime.
Oh, that's a great show.
The current show, bad superheroes doing very bad things. As you would imagine real superheroes, if they actually existed, would do.
People are people, and if you have superpower, you're gonna do some weird stuff with it, and these guys do everything with it.
It's basically like the bad Justice League getting together just to make money, to do whatever they want, to abuse the normal humans, and then you got the regular humans who want to take them down.
Yeah.
They have a really rough time.
One of the things I liked about that show is they take into account some of the actual physics. Like there's one scene where Homelander, who's the guy should win an Emmy because he's such a lovable bastard. He refused. He explains why he can't just stop a plane that's crashing because of surface area. He has the strength to do it, but if he pushes on the plane traveling at the speed it is, he'll just simply go through it like a hot knife through butter. He can't carry the plane. It's just simple. It's right. Superheroes in comic books, you sort of wave that off. It's like, oh, he's carrying this really big thing. But unless you have the surface area, you're gonna go straight through it.
Unless you have telekinesis. It's made of aluminum, basically. You'll punch right through it.
Yeah. It's not about but it's nice to acknowledge that at least.
Yeah, they put that in there. It is based on a comic book as well, an independent comic book. First started in DC, I think. Yeah, and then it moved over to an independent. So you usually don't have a hit show based on an independent comic book.
Yeah.
Normally, I mean, a lot of them have always fallen flat. Their movies have fallen flat, except for a few here and there. But this series, everybody was like, "Wow, when can we have season 2?" Oh yeah, we're renewed. So season 2 is coming. They've already shot it, so COVID is not gonna damage the release of the season 2. So it's coming this year.
Good. All right, so my number 1 is a fairly recent show. Well, fairly recent. It went 4 seasons on Showtime, and it's called Penny Dreadfuls, the very first one. And it currently can be found on Netflix, Hulu, and Showtime. They have a service of their own. And this was just one of the best acted shows in recent memory for me. Eva Green is great. Timothy Dalton's great. I mean, this is like a if you saw the movie League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, where they had like Frankenstein, you had like Jekyll and Hyde and vampires, werewolves, whatever else. This one had like the main character, I guess Eva Green's character was sort of a psychic / mage type of character. She was haunted a lot. And let's see, there's a guy there. I forget his name. He was a werewolf. There was Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster as well. And they're fighting all sorts of. They fought the devil. They fought witches. They fought Dracula. And it's in 19th century England, Victorian era, and it was just phenomenal. It was just one thing the British do well all the time is when they're filming is Victorian era England. They still got the cobble streets and everything, so they don't have to build that much of a set.
The set is right there.
Yeah.
So my number 1, was one of yours. Highlander the series. Yes, I put it as number one. I watched every episode.
Yeah.
I even watched the Highlander the Raven offshoot series that lasted one season with Amanda.
I saw a few of those.
These are all streaming on Amazon Prime, so you can catch it. Definitely the series was better than the movies. Even the movies based on the series, the later movies, they still don't stand up to the series. I don't know what's wrong with these guys. They can't make a good movie, but the series was actually phenomenal. It was really good. Other than the 400-year-old mortal beating the 2,000-year-old mortal, beating 3 of the 4 horsemen, because one of them was his friend, so the other 3 had to go.
It's he's a star of the show. Yes, yes, somehow.
But they unlike the movies where they actually tell you that they take the power and the quickening and the knowledge in the TV show, they kind of say it, but they don't. They leave it kind of underlying.
Yeah.
And also, the prize over in the movies is you become mortal, which it doesn't sound like a prize. And in the series, it's kind of left, you don't know what it is. Yes.
I don't know. I think they just did that because in the movies, I think the very first one, they figured, we make one movie, that's it.
They didn't expect to make any more, so they wanted a complete story. So they ended it there, but then like number 2, and then they had to go crazy. Even though that was my favorite of the series because it started. I watched number 2 first out of all the Highlanders, and I actually didn't have a problem watching it that they're from another planet. Of course, they changed it, they re-edited it, they re-released it, and they don't come from the planet Zeist anymore.
Number 2 never happened.
Well, it happened, but it didn't happen as originally said. They were not from Zeist. They were actually from back, I think, in the past, which still, it's too sci-fi in that kind of feeling like they're time traveling now, but instead of planetary travel, it's okay. But it is very weird, and the series was just much more complete, much more, normalized. It had a story. It followed it. They knew it.
You had time to flesh out the characters more and get to know them. That's usually how it works with if they actually put effort into the TV series. And the movie is limited to 2 hours, so they don't have a great deal of time to get all the story in.
Now we have some honorable mention that we want to say. One that's not available on streaming, but you can buy it, and that is Forever Night, the vampire cop show, starring Nicholas Knight and Lacroix as the main villain.
Yes.
That is actually fathered Nicholas Knight. And it's excellent. First 2 seasons are excellent. The 3rd season, they killed off a lot of co-stars on off screen, I guess, because it had a year before they renewed it, and it went to the USA Network. So it didn't feel the same. But the first 2 seasons are definitely excellent, and that's what got you in. And this started on CBS Crime Time After Prime Time. That's what they called it. There was a whole bunch of shows there, like Sweating Bullets, Silk Stockings. I forgot some of the other ones, but every night there was something for Crime Time After Prime Time at around 11:30 or 12 midnight. And this was one of the shows. And then it moved to, I think, the USA Network or Sci-Fi Network, which is the same company.
Yeah. You can actually, I did a little research. You can actually, it is on Amazon. You can, but you have to pay for it.
You have to purchase it. Yeah, iTunes, same thing. You purchase the seasons, it's yours, but it's not a streaming service because everything is now to be bought from Voodoo to Fandango now and stuff.
Amazon.
Yeah, everything's streaming. Nobody wants a physical disc because everybody loses it.
Oh yeah, I know, right? All right. So, and if you guys agree, disagree, put down your own list of fantasy series that you enjoyed. And please, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next time on Boredom Sated.
See you later.